Greetings from Most High. The best that we are, the best that we can do, given what is true, we have to do what we are doing. It's more existence in control. I am not in control of this existence. I was born here, I live here, and I'm thankful for being here, for this time I've been given on this earth. I've had quite a life. I searched all my life to try and find out what was true, and I've been cynical and skeptical, and I did a lot of investigation, and I realized that within your own being you see what is happening. And I believe that everybody sees the situation the way they see it, but there are common things that we can all relate to that belong to all of us as the condition, the way it is. The traffic, the economy, the climate, these things are all our connected reality. But we have a personal existence here. It's what are we, what's going on, where we are, what are we doing? My friend David Arthur Johnson says there is no do. And I believe that in the Bhagavad Gita it says, you are not the doer nor the done. It's all Maya, illusion. We perceive a reality that is just temporary. It's a moving world. There's lots happening everywhere. We have internet now. We can speak to the world where they to want to see it. You can hear around the world what's going on, and people are searching. There's wars, there's climate crises, there's all there is in the stock exchange. Everybody is participating in the world the way it is, and this condition is dire. Like it's a crisis. Like we are in a global crisis. Like we're looking for peace, and there is, how do you make peace in a war? Like the war has to end. Like the battlegrounds have to stop. What caused the war? Why are we here like this? What is the roots of our being? The destiny that we are evolving in, with the controls that we're born into, the way it is, the condition, the government. They're all deep subjects, like looking at how government is made. I ran in many elections. They were all frauds. Like it was controlled by media, and the media being controlled by dollars, and never a common sense agreement on a direction, like philosophically. It was all capitalistic control, and I couldn't get a message out. I couldn't get the true message out. And maybe I could say I've learned from that experience, and I'm thinking all the time, with divine mind, what would God do? And it's all been done. This is the world we have. This has all come from somewhere, and we're all here somehow. And the miracle of our being here is a mystery beyond my understanding. I don't know how this happened, but how we're here. That's what I'm concerned about, and it's not very good how we're here. The way the world is being run by dollars, by manipulation, by terrorism, we are being controlled. Totally down right to this cell phone that I'm talking into. It dictates to me what I can and cannot do within this world as it is structured. You have to know the technology, the economy. You've got to know the marketing that it takes. And there's some great stuff coming through internet right now. And you can learn what's going on around the world, but nowhere is there peace. Nowhere could there be peace unless it be total. It has to be heaven on earth. It has to be an answer to the best that we can do, like for the whole. We can't, living in a war is not peaceful. It's horrible. War is horrible. And there's different aspects of this war. How we're supporting it through our taxes, through our manner of living, by basically in denial of what's really going on, what we're doing. And the news is terrible. The news is just like, and no one knows. People don't know how to get by this, how to get through this. It's a struggle, like to survive in the conditions that we're in. And I started this tape. I wanted to talk about my personal situation here. I'm in a rental house that's owned by a development company, and there's development all over the city. They're building more and more condos, and I call them colonial slave servant cells, and people are being pushed up into the air where they can just, what do they do there? Like just one friend of mine says she got this little 10-year-old boy, and he comes to her and he says, "Mommy, why don't we have a yard?" Like, it's a tough scene to witness what's going on, the way the world is structured. Like in the city here, where the streets are, like, you can see the problem. Everybody must see it. We saw the first beggars come out in 1996, and I saw it coming then. We tried to stop it. I went to the church and I said, "Look, like this is going to get worse. It's not going to. We have to do something about what's going on. It's not right. The controls are forcing us into slavery, and people are collectively heard it, and now we're facing extinction. We're right on the verge of wiping out. They've got like 17,000 nuclear weapons. They've got, and the amount of gas that we're going through with the traffic. Like I'm living in a really congested area, and they're building these condos and bringing more and more people in to create the demand, and the rents keep going up, and food prices are skyrocketing, and it's not a maintainable situation. It has to change. It will change. Necessity will demand that we have to adapt. We have to adapt to a changing world. And I ran in quite a few elections, and they were controlled. They were controlled by the collectives that control elections, and they know how to manipulate. They're really good at manipulation. One year there was a provincial election. I believe there were 57 up for election, and in the Times columnist they had a little wager going, who could name who was going to be a winner in each election. And one journalist at the Times columnist got all 57 right. Now, I mean, he knew what was happening. He knew like how they control it, how they can manipulate it, and they can predict exactly who's going to get where. And like when the last time I ran on the elections, I wasn't allowed to speak at meetings. I never got a proper interview from any journalist. Like it was all kept under control. I proposed, like one election, there were 81 candidates. I proposed that we all get together, and if we're truly here to serve the people and to live in a peaceful, coexistent community, then why don't the 81 candidates get together and we'll televise, who is talking, what direction we want to move in. And if we find the right one, all those candidates, maybe they could come up with a decent direction, and they all get together and support the move, the best that we can do. But they put you on a stage. At one time there were 22 candidates on the stage, and each one was given a minute to say how they're going to deal with whatever crisis they were projecting as being the meaningful cause of the election results. And who wants to listen to 21 versions, 1 minute talks? Like, it was ridiculous. It was ludicrous. But the public didn't see that. They didn't see the means by which the elections are controlled. I did. And in the last election in Victoria, there were 13 separate municipalities. Like, why do we need 13 separate municipalities and 13 separate governments for all these different establishments that we have to build in each one? Why not have one central place for the whole area? Like, what's $1 billion budget? Like, it's ludicrous the way they've divvied it up and making nonsense out of it. And they got to create more and more demand to maintain, like, evolving in the capitalistic system. It's not working. It's not working for anybody. Nobody's happy with it. It has to change. And so I don't want to waste anybody's time with just a different. I've got low power mode, so I got to wrap this up. And I've gone on for like 12 minutes. But we have to come together as people. And there's, in the Bible, it says, "My Father's house there are many mansions." And I look at these churches, and they are mansions. They're beautiful buildings, lots of them. Some of them have got fences around them. Somehow we've lost our way. What were those churches built for? For the communities. And so there's 37 million different churches throughout the world, different denominations. They need to turn into the true community centers they were meant to be, and let them become the government of the areas which they live in. And they come together as a community in the churches. Like, it's an answer for the whole population. What kind of rules do we want to live by? Can we better it? Can we do better? And who, in a true democratic way, we each have a say, and we can centralize it and localize it. That's my vision. What I see as worthy of working towards. So every church opens its doors 7/24. Get rid of the altars. We don't need the altars anymore. Like, we need the people to come together and discuss what's going on, and if this is the way we want to live in this beautiful world, in this magnificent creation that we all share. So I'm David Shabib, Judgment Day News, bringing to you, and there's a little saga going on where I live, and if anybody's interested in it, I can be reached at 250-818-1992, and you can see the personal crisis that I am in, dealing with the system as it is. Thank you.